Earlier in your testimony, you spoke about how the Office of Victim Advocate is baked into your process. Could you expand on that and explain a little bit more how the board coordinates hearings with the Office of Victim Advocate, and how the Office of Victim Advocate becomes aware of filed applications?
Right. So how the process works is once someone submits an application with us and once it's filed, so it's a distinction between when it's received and when we file it with the district attorney, the president judge in the county where the conviction was incurred, and with probation and parole. It used to be that the Office of Victim Advocate wouldn't receive that application or begin the process of notifying potential victims until after that person went through what is our merit review hearing, which is kind of like a preliminary hearing to determine if that person's application merits them getting a public hearing. And the reason why that was because we didn't want to get folks worked up for an applicant that who ultimately didn't receive a public hearing. But it is a short window from the time that we have our merit review hearings to when we schedule our public hearings, usually about 30 days after. So we've reversed that process a little bit. So victims are notified earlier in the process to give them as much time to be able to respond and present their position on the applicant. At that point in time, and a few things have changed over the last few months. So what happens is the Office of Victim Advocate, they give us a spreadsheet with all of the applicants, the outreach that was conducted, whether it was successful outreach, what the positions were from the folks that were contacted to provide our board members with guidance. And then obviously once you get to the public hearing phase, victims are afforded 30 minutes, whether in person or they can send letters through OVA, which they can read on behalf of the victim to express their position on the applicant's application.
Thank you very much. Appreciate keeping a focus and a concern for victims here in the Commonwealth. Earlier in your testimony, you talked about your IT upgrades and how that increase in your budget from last year was for those IT upgrades. And you spoke about working with the governor's IT consultant. Can you share who that consultant is?
So Amy Towson, and there's a gentleman named Adam Ferentz. So what essentially they did is they went over our workflows from start to finish, how the clemency process works, who we interface with, and then from there, we kind of articulated, here's what we want this system to look like. So they helped us kind of flesh out what the specs would look like. And then that was utilized for when the RFP itself was drafted, so that the potential folks that would be, whoever wins the bid will have a better sense of what it is that our concerns are and what we want the final product to look like.
And that process is going through DGS?
Yes, so they're assisting us with that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes.